Matty for stopping by. You like that? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the sports report for September or October?
Today is September 30th.
September 30th, 2013. I'm Matty the Moose. This is Judge Muggsy. The doctor is in surgery. He can't be here today. So we're going to do Muggs' top 10, I think. We're going to talk a little bell game. Clank, clank for who West Side the bell tolls.
Yep, we'll see what happens.
So ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, all rise. Here come the judge. Here come the judge.
Well, before we get into this, I want to briefly recap what happened last week in high school football. The couple big games it didn't involve these teams, but start Friday night. Mid-Valley had a 27-13 upset win over Lackawanna Trail. 127 yards from Josh Gorton. The sixth straight time the Spartans have beaten the Lions. Go figure that one.
Holy mackerel.
Lackawanna Trail falls from the ranks of the unbeaten. Carbondale, a very emotional night up there in the Pioneer City. Head coach Larry Gabriel III's grandfather passed away earlier that afternoon in a traffic accident. But they wanted to play the game, they wanted to honor him, and Carbondale came back from a 21-7 deficit to beat Honesdale 27-21. Ricky Jones had 147 yards rushing. Brad Sales had 68 yards rushing, including the winning touchdown with 4 minutes left for the Chargers. Tyler Canfield had all three touchdowns for Honesdale, 2 receiving and a fumble return for Honesdale. Scranton was a 35-7 winner over Valley View. Jake McCarthy had 170 yards rushing, set the all-time Scranton High School rushing record. For Scranton, Marcus Morrison added 91 yards, Rob Nardelli 54 yards, and a rushing touchdown for Valley View. Scranton Prep, easy winner, 42-14 over North Pocono.
Hey, Preppy.
Yep. Even though they fell behind for the first time this season, North Pocono scored first on them before Prep took control of that game. Pat Marino had 110 yards rushing, added a 72-yard touchdown reception for the Cavaliers.
You had no phone ringing, did you?
Okay.
I hear phones ringing all the time.
Yeah, thank you. God. Like I said, 3 touchdowns total for Marino. Thomas Minor had 119 yards receiving for North Pocono. North Pocono looked rather respectable against Scranton Prep in that one. The Triborough rivalry went to Old Forge, 57-7.
Holy mackerel!
The largest margin of victory in that series for either team. Brandon Yaskavich had 162 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns, 4, like Al Bundy.
Okay.
Yep. Shane Schubeck, he had 3 touches in the game, 117 yards, and 3 touchdowns. 2 rushing, 1 receiving for Old Forge. Nico Munley had Riverside's only touchdown on a 90-yard kickoff return. Western Wayne was a 41-20 winner over Montrose. Jason Figueroa had a big night all around. He had 393 all-purpose yards.
Holy mackerel!
175 yards rushing, 31 receiving, 187 yards in the return game.
Wow.
For Western Wayne. It's 4 touchdowns as well. He was another 4. Bill Hughes had 133 yards for Montrose and a touchdown. And Dunmore did not waste any time at Holy Cross.
Holy Cross!
Yep. 62-21 win over the Crusaders. 48-0 Dunmore led at half. The JV guys were in there by the second quarter. It was pretty much everybody played in that game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Saturday was a big upset up in Susquehanna County. Susquehanna 28-7 over Lakeland. Austin White, the quarterback, had 129 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns for Susquehanna. Kyle Cook, his second win up there. The Sabres are sneaking up. They're sneaking on you.
Quietly.
Yep. Delaware Valley had a 34-0 win over Westside. The Warriors, it was a 4 o'clock game up there, so it was a very unique time, and Delaware Valley pounded the rock for 246 yards rushing in that game. Lex Rosario had 87 yards and 2 touchdowns. Brett Helper, Hamburger Helper, right?
Whoa, Muggs with the Hamburger Helper reference.
82 yards rushing, and they were led by the big lineman Luke Ritter. He was the guy we talked about in the preseason. He was the guy that came back for Delaware Valley after last year, and they ran right behind big old 75 up there. And West Scranton, sort of a gut check game. It was not what they wanted going up there. Lastly, Abington Heights.
1 second, tough injury, Carl Zanker in that game.
Yeah, Carl Zanker, a big fan of the program.
Yeah, shout out to you, buddy. He was in Matty's today. He's doing good. He had a concussion. He had a little stinger action there, a little muscle spasm. He's doing good. Carl, stop getting hurt.
Yep.
Injury prone, that kid.
Yes, he is. One more game. Abington Heights, 37-0 winners over Wallenpaupack. J.C. Shao.
Well, it's the big Shao.
He threw for 4 touchdowns in the game. 2 to Nick Chozik, 1 to Nate Hollander, 1 to Joe Carroll. Abington Heights, impressive again, 5-0. Going through we're halfway home now in the regular season of high school football.
Wow, it goes quick.
Yep, quickly I'll get through the top 10. Dunmore is 1, Scranton Prep 2, Abington 3, Old Forge 4, Carbondale 5, Lackawanna Trail remains 6 despite the loss. Scranton is 7, West Scranton 8.
West Side!
Mid-Valley sneaks in at 9, and Lakeland drops to 10. Alright, now besides this game, we have Lackawanna Trail and Carbondale, a big game in Division 3, as league play opens in Division 3 this week. Both these teams figure to challenge Old Forge for the division title, and Carbondale, a win here would help them probably gain a top seed in the District AA playoffs. Coming up in Lackawanna Trail, need a bounce back win. And Mid-Valley Lakeland, it's pretty well, this is a must win for both these. The winner of this game will be in the discussion for the playoffs. The loser of this game is going to have a hard time trying to qualify because they both still have to play Dunmore in Division 2.
Game of the week.
Yep, but you have anything for the Falcons? Or
Falcons swept again. We didn't get our on-the-field reporters for stats or touchdown. Sure, Caden Merrifield had 8 touchdowns or something like that. He is the man, looking at possibly the greatest quarterback to ever play in the history of Scranton. We'll see. He's very mobile, this kid. He runs, he does it all. He's talked highly over there in the Falcons, but they swept again. Way to go, Purple Pride of West Side!
Yep, which brings me to this. For whom the bell tolls, and if our good producer Ox could put up the prize for both of these teams right now. Ox in Scotland, yep. The 3-2 Invaders and the 3-2 Knights will battle Friday night, the annual Battle of the Bell.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, there's our Monday night reference.
Battle of the Bell. How long is this going on for, Mud?
This has been going, well, the bell itself it was donated by the Erie Railroad Company to the Scranton School District in 1953.
I was 17, I think.
Yep, so that's as far back as I could trace. Now, the schools have been playing before that, but this, as far as the bell, whoever's had it in their school, that's how long the bell is, because every year it's been engraved who has had the bell in the school. But so it's, like I said, 1953, for good fair play and good sportsmanship between the city schools. You know what it's like this week. You drive around, you see the signs, you see everybody honking their horn. Honk if you're an Invader. Honk if you're a Knight. But this is this is a important game on both sides. For West Scranton, after the 34-0 loss to Delaware Valley, this is a must-win. You don't even need me to tell you it's a must-win. Because, first of all, it's the season for West Scranton. The loss to Delaware Valley hurt their district playoff chances forefront. They need to run the table, even though they still have to play Abington Heights and Scranton Prep later down the line. But this is just a must-win. Not to mention the fact that Scranton has owned this rivalry in the last few years. 4 out of the last 5, the Bell's in Scranton High School and not West Scranton High School.
Bell's there now?
Yes, it is. Who knows what's going to happen, but like I said, for West Scranton, it's been kind of like they've taken care of the games that they were supposed to win, and the 2 games that they were on the road, they went away from the stadium. They've struggled, so they really need the morale. The morale needs a big boost this week, and you don't. You know what it is.
You do it for Carl. Do it for Carl.
Yeah. I guess they're going to be riding on their 3-headed rushing monster. Angel Ortiz has 376 yards on the season. He's still averaging about 7-8 yards a touch.
Boom!
For the Invaders. Joe Cawley has 166 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns on the year. Josh Williams, 257 yards rushing. He's also been getting the most workload for the 3-headed monster at tailback. Cullen Fanning, he's been... The last few weeks have been good on offense, but he's been exceptionally great on defense. He's going to be called upon to stop Scranton's workhorse in Jake McCarthy. And this would be a big game. If Lou DeBilio was going to beat a big game, this would be it.
Love the DeBilios.
Because last year he had a big game here. He made some catches, caught some touchdowns, but he's sort of struggled. They haven't been able to get him the ball the last few weeks. This would be a game where he really needed to take over and make an impact for West Scranton, catching those passes from Leo Chulo. And for Scranton, like I said, the workhorse is Jake McCarthy. Like we said, broke the all-time rushing lead at Scranton High School, already closing in on 1,000 yards.
He's amazing.
13 touchdowns total, but I think Scranton's going to have to look to their role players in this game. It's not because West was going to load the box with 8-9 in the box, try to take away number 31. So it's going to be on the quarterback, Kyle Paczynski, to air it out, I guess you could say. You're going to say something?
No.
You're looking at me.
No, I was going to ask you, does this rivalry play more of a defensive game or a high passing offer? What do we see with this game?
I think this is just going to be one of those where the tempo, both teams are going to want to try to grind the tempo. I wouldn't say they necessarily don't have the passing weapons, but both teams this year are more run oriented.
Okay.
So I think so that kind of, you can also make the tendency breaker. Maybe you come out, throw a little bit more early to try to keep teams from loading the box. Right. So I think it's going to be field position's a key. Not turning the ball over is even a bigger key, because I don't think both these teams could. They need big plays from their running game, and field position and turnovers would certainly help that.
Do either teams tend to turn over the ball more than the other?
Well, West Scranton, they had a very tough time with the football against Delaware Valley last week. One of the reasons why they couldn't generate any offense. Leo Chul he threw a couple interceptions. They fumbled the ball a few times. It was just really an all-around. It wasn't a great performance from West Scranton. Now it's one of those games where Coach Garrick would like to say, it's out the window. Last Saturday's out the window. This is what you got in front of you.
Okay.
So, but like I said, field position and turnovers are certainly going to be the key in this game, and special teams. I think because both teams have good kickers. The kickers have each kicked the field goal on the year, and they can boot the ball. So that really plays to the field position factor. High school football, if you have a good kicker, it's big, because the average starting field position in high school football is somewhere around your own 35-yard line. These guys can keep it inside the 20. That's big for high school football. Right. So it is what it is, but it's going to be a big crowd. It's going to be a lot of TV and radio, I guess. Not only are you going to have the Scranton School District TV guys there, you're going to have My Network there. ESPN Radio is going to be there. You have WYLK, the game's going to, Fox Sports Radio, the game's going to be there.
MattyVision Sports Report.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a must-win for both teams, and it should be a very exciting football game. 7 o'clock at Scranton Memorial Stadium. Should be a beautiful night for football, just like the night we have here right now. Very few clouds in the sky. Very comfortable football weather.
Very cool. Make sure you come out and support your True Blue West Side.
Or if you are a fan of the Knights.
If you're a fan of the Knights, root for True Blue West Side.
Okay, I've had enough here. Without the doctor, I've kind of hamstrung here today.
All right, well, we're going to bring the doctor back next week. We normally don't film without the doctor, but being it is the Bell game, Muggsy was going to get lynched if he didn't talk it up. So with all luck, next week we'll be back on cue with the Doctor of Sports. So, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Honorable Muggs, I am Matty the Moose. This has been the Sports Report for September 30th, 2013. Coming up after the break, Tim Dugan. No. You're watching MattyVision.com. We do.